Hello, everybody. I hope somebody is coming. Okay, we have some people there, only I can't see you. Hello, everybody. Who is there? I want you to greet us. Nobody is greeting us there yet. Okay. Okay, the person there is who greeted just now, Terjoman. Terjoman is the person who is there who greeted. Okay, we're on Facebook already. Let me check on who is there with us on Facebook. Let me quickly acknowledge the Facebook audience. Okay. The light is still here, right? Oh, you can't see the Facebook. Okay, we have Stitches, Sunny, Ashe, Omoba, Bumigbenro, Solomon, Oriyomi, Adedotun, Star Ike, Mosenge, Mesonge, Osa, Osaro, Samuel Audu, Wale Banjoko is here. Welcome, everyone. Yep, we are going to go into the conversation, and the book we are going to be talking about is How to Become Great. But this time, greatness through time conversion. How to become great through time conversion. How to become great through time conversion. So that's what we are going to be talking about today. And the person who edited the book for me, who understands the book more than anybody else, I guess, will be Clement Ogedengbe. That is the person that edited the book, and he's been here on Kingdom Fruits the last time. And people after that one, people are saying, whoever become like this, is there any chance for us to ever become like that, your disciple that came on that day? I am sure he will be the first one to tell you that it is possible, because he was able to help his wife now. His wife is also becoming like him almost. So, and she is only here for about a year. And if she could catch up and becoming like that in a year, then Clement, what do you say? Is there any chance for people who watch you, they were afraid that would they ever get to where you are?
Well, it's very much possible.
If they will,
and it's easy.
If they will work on it, eh?
Yes, sir.
What kind of work do they need to do? How challenging is it to become to get to know so much like you? Because they are saying it's like you have become a replica of Pastor Sunday, and they are afraid that will it ever work out for them?
Well, I think that it's very much possible. A kind of work they need to do is, first of all, make up mind to pay the sacrifice. And by sacrifice, I mean they must be ready to sweat. Now, not physical sweat, I've been going to carry some blocks, They must be ready to persevere. And and they must be determined, to be able to get to the level that Pastor Sunday has reached and that he has replicated. For me, I don't feel like I've not even arrived. I'm still coming up. I'm still evolving. But anybody who will be ready to understand time, thank God what today we are looking at time conversion.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to replicate what Pastor Sunday has been able to, to give to us, such a person must first of all understand time. Because it all begins with an understanding of time. And so once they begin to value time and begin to understand the value of time, then it is easy. Anybody can replicate it.
All right.
And I believe as we go ahead, discussing the book, they will understand why I said that it is easy and what is needed to become the best of yourself is already in your hands. You have it already. And that is what we're going to be looking at today as we look at the book, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion.
Yeah, this is the book, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. Now, this book comprises, even in its title, it comprises two truths. First truth is how to become great, which means it is possible to become great. The second truth is there is a concrete formula that could be used for a human being to become great.
Yeah.
And that formula that we are proposing here as the way and the key to become great is the formula of time. So tell me, how would you like to approach the analysis and the review of this book going by the title alone?
Okay, first of all, when you see a book that is titled How to Become Great, and it's not saying how to become great through your connections or how to become great through how much money you have, nor how to become great through your location, whether you are born in the US or you are born in the UK. But the book is saying how to become great through time conversion. So the question that comes to mind is, how possible is it that time conversion could lead to greatness? And another question that comes to mind is, what is time conversion? So we first of all need to understand time conversion and then see how it could lead to greatness. But then, when you read this book, anybody who reads the book, the first thing you will notice in the book is that the book started by saying that everybody on earth can become great.
Okay.
And so you begin to wonder, Pastor Sunday, what are you talking about? You mean everybody can become great? We used to think that only those who were born in the US could become great. Or only those, who were born into some very wealthy family, rich family could become great. But how come you are saying that everybody can become great? Now, you went ahead in that book to prove that greatness is possible with everybody. And there's something I like in the first part of the book, and that is the fact that you were able to debunk all the misconceptions that people thought were the criteria for greatness. For example, you said in that book that it is not God who chooses who is going to be great. I mean, to an African Christian, or to most Christians generally, that is strange. I mean, how could you say that it is not God who decides who is going to be great?
All my life, I battled with that. And that's one of the reasons I thought God was not fair in Africa while I was in Africa. Because the concept you have from Africa is that it is only God that decides. In fact, I want to challenge everybody that is watching this program today, because this is going to be one of the most important titles This is going to be the most important review you ever witness. Because this review here, this book here, it looks simple, it looks ordinary, but it's one of the most important ones you will ever come across. So please, I beg Una, if you love anybody, go and be sending them the links right now. Go and be tagging people left, right, and center. And go and be inviting people, both on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere, because this topic today, in fact, you would think that you have just eaten a gold something. Yeah, you are going to be digging gold. Because this topic, how to become great. But how? Through time. But not just through time. You have to do something with that time. So, but when I was in Africa, I sincerely believe, and all our folklores, all our stories, all our folk tales, all of them point to the fact that it is either God that decides to become great or destiny. Fate, destiny is the one that decides who becomes great. So I really like the way you started by analyzing this book.
Yeah, so now you do debunk that, misconception that it is God who decides who is going to be great. And then you said in that book that if God is going to handpick those he wants to be great, then he's not a fair God.
It means that greatness can be bought. God could be bribed.
Yes, and then it means on what basis will God choose those that he wants to become great? And then again, you went ahead to say that, okay, if we are to agree that God chooses those who are to become great, how come the people we see that we regard as great people, most of them are not even Christians, that they are atheists?
So why is God neglecting his own children and choosing?
Yeah, so why is God not choosing the Christians and then going ahead to make the atheists great? So that was the first thing that I was shocked, because I too had that mentality that God is going to make me great someday, or somehow faith, one miracle will just happen and I'll become great, until I came across the book where you said that God does not choose those who become great, and that God has given every man what they need to become great. So it is man that decides whether or not he wants to be great.
Clement, while you are talking, somebody is saying, I think it is Ahima. Ahima is saying, okay, I am ordering my own book right now on Amazon. I'm already ordering my own though, right now, hot. Why the thing is still hot from the kitchen?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
So you went ahead to say that it is not God who chooses those who become great, but that it is man who decides to become great. But then, in this book, we are looking at what God has already put in place to enable man get that greatness.
Oh, he has put the resource out there.
Yes, God has put the resource down there for every man who wants to become great to use that resource, that is the resource of time. And you said in that book that all greatness is a product of time.
All
greatness is a product of time. And you went ahead to prove that everything that exists on the face of the earth began with time. Everything that exists is a product of time. And so if everything is a product of time, greatness also is a product of time. And then the question that comes to mind is, how come everything is a product of time? Someone will say, but how do you mean? I have a phone. I have an iPhone. How can you prove to me that that iPhone is a product of time? Or I have money. I have $100 in my hand. How can you prove that this $100 note is a product of time? And so you went ahead, you gave examples, and you said that even creation itself took time. creation, the whole of creation took 7 days, and that is time. And he went ahead to say that time, seconds, in minutes, in hours, in days, in months, and then in years. And so you went ahead to say that even human beings that we see to give birth to a child, that child is a product of time. Why? Because the child had to stay in the womb for 9 months. And if that 9 months was not complete, that child would not be a complete child. So that was a proof that everything, including humans, are products of time. And so if everything came from time, also is a product of time. Now you use the example of a book. Now, for we to even have that book that is titled How to Become Great Through Time Conversion, that book itself is a product of time. Because you have to sit down and use time to first of all study and understand what you want to write in the book. And then you went ahead, sat down again to actually start writing the book. And that took time. So without time, that book will not exist. Without time, there will be no cars. Without time, there will be no buildings. Without time, there will be no money. Without time, nothing will exist at all. And so everything came out of time. Now, and you said that if we agree that everything came out of time, then we cannot disagree that greatness is a product of time. Because greatness came from time. And you said in that book that every great person that we know only became great because they bought that greatness, not with money, but with time. They bought that greatness with time. And how they did it is what we are discussing today. But God is kind enough to have given that treasure, that resource called time. God was so merciful to have given it to everybody, irrespective of their skin color, irrespective of their country of origin, irrespective of their background. God gave that time, that treasure that could lead to greatness to everybody. So that God doesn't have to choose those who will become great. But those who can discover that treasure of time and then know how to convert it into greatness, these are the ones that will become great in the real sense of the word. Now, and that is why anybody who does not understand the concept of how time could lead to greatness will hardly be able to get greatness in life. So that is the beginning of all things.
If everything comes as a product, as a result of time, also greatness comes as a result of time. But some people are measuring greatness by money, how much money they have. So if he is saying that it is money that will make, it is when I have $1 million that I will become great. How come money, that million, and time? What is it? So how can he I want to be a millionaire now.
Well, the thing is this.
How can he use, everybody has time in abundance. So anyone now can just take up the time they have in abundance. They want to go and play Ludo, Lotto. The time they are using to go and just shout around. How can I waste this time? How can I kill this time? How can I just, I need to waste away time. Oh, I need to wind away time. That time they are just winding away like that. How can they now make it become $1 million or $1 million that would now make them to feel that they are really great?
Okay, first of all, I want to say this. Now, in that book, you said that to have money is to be rich, but to have time is to be wealthy. And you have taught that riches only come from wealth. So if I have money, I have riches. But it is impossible for me to have money if wealth was not first of all converted to that riches. And so time is that wealth that God has given to every one of us. Now, anybody who has money only has that money because that money came from time that was converted, came from, you know, that wealth of time that was converted into money.
By somebody.
By somebody. Even the process of making the notes.
So the fact that I have the money, that doesn't mean that it's not coming from time. Because I didn't spend time for it. You just gave it to me.
Yeah.
But
somebody else had spent time to get that money. You know, somebody has spent time. If nobody spends time, you will not get the money.
For example, it means if I'm the one who gave you the money, it means that I had been working hours and hours or days and days or years on something that gave me that money, where I got that money from.
Yes.
So I've been giving. Yes, go ahead.
So what it means is that anything anybody has, any property or whatever it is at all, it all came from time, including the money. Now, let's say, for example, my father goes to work, right? And when my father goes to work, let's say he goes to work 8 hours every day. And so what he's doing is that he's given 8 hours of his time,
of his life,
every day to the government or to his boss. And then at the end of the month, he's given money. So if he didn't give out his time, he will not be given money. So what happens is that as he goes to work every day, he's going to exchange his time for money. And so he gets the money and sends to me as feeding money or as school fees. But that money would not have gotten to me if my father had not, given that time. So now, the question that comes to mind is this. Are you saying that time is greater than money? That's what people will be thinking.
But if people don't know that, people cannot believe that. There is no way people will believe that, because how can they believe that when nobody is looking for time? Yeah. People are rather looking for money.
Looking for money.
And that is the whole idea. You are now getting to the whole idea why I wrote this book.
Yeah.
This is the greatest strength. This book here, it's one of the least bought books. People are not buying it because they don't know. They think it's time management.
Yeah.
They don't know this one will not be time management though. This one is a higher degree of secrets. This one is one of the greatest secrets you will ever get to know in your life. It's not time management. It's how to become great. It's about greatness. But then it also gives you the resource to become great, through which all great become great. So the question is time then more important than money?
Money. Now, the first time I said that to my friends, I said to them that from the book, I said to them that time is more important than money. They said, how can you say time is more important than money? They wanted to argue with me. And then I said, okay, sit down, let me explain it to you. And so I began to explain to them that there would be no money if there is no time. And that in fact, if your father doesn't go to work, if he doesn't give out his time, he will not get money in return. And even Central Bank, for example, Central Bank of Nigeria produced money. It took time for that note to be produced. And so if time was not used, we would not have that money. So the answer to the question is that time is a greater resource than money. In fact, if there was no time, there would be no money.
This thing you are talking about is charging people. Somebody is just writing to me now and say, DSA, in fact, I've decided to resign from my job, even though I have a well-paid job, dollars. In fact, I'm going to resign. And said, because everybody is saying I'm mad because I'm having such a good job. Somebody was just telling me yesterday that there is a rumor that's going on in London. I said, what was the rumor? Today, actually. They said, Pastor Sunday's, they said Mayowa and Julia, Pastor Sunday's lovers. Is sleeping with them, because how can they leave their job? How can somebody leave to move to Ukraine and they are not being paid, and resign from job that is paying them pounds.
Wow.
And move to Ukraine. So it means, I mean, how can somebody resign from job and not get salary, and pastor is not getting paying them job money also? What will you say to that?
Well, first of all, one of the things that you will learn from this book is the fact that it is actually a waste of life. I'm using the word life. It's actually a waste of life to be going to job every day. Now, why is it a waste of life? Because you must understand, first of all, that life in itself is a product of time. So it means that anytime I give out my time, I'm actually giving out my life. I think it was it Charles Darwin who said that a man who dares to waste 1 hour of time does not know the value of life.
Yeah.
So that means that time is equal to life. And so when I go to job every day, 8 hours every day, going to work for a boss, I'm not just giving my time, I'm giving my life. And so when I give my life, I'm compensated with peanuts called salary. Now, if you don't know how to convert time to greatness, you'll be pursuing job. You'll be looking for job.
And you'll be happy for the peanut.
You'll be happy for the peanut they are giving you. But you don't know that you are actually giving out your life to your boss to be paid peanuts. You are working for a company makes $1,000 and they give you $5. You gave your life to make the company function, and then they give you $5 and you are happy. You are not aware that you are giving out your life. And what happens to you is that by the time you get to 60, you get to 65, they retire you. You have given out your life for peanuts. You won't have anything for the number of years you've lived.
So someone like this who said he wants to resign from his job, or someone like Mayowa and Julie who resign from their job to come and do something more valuable with their lives, it means that they understand the value of life and the value of time much more than the people who are still pursuing salary.
Now, that is very true. And I believe if you ask them, they will tell you what they've gotten so far since they started coming to your house. since they've been in kids, they can tell you that the
Mayowa has become a star now. She has become a father of nations.
You see, now if she was just walking,
nobody would have known she even existed.
Nobody would recognize her.
Nobody would even know she existed, apart from her family and friends.
Nobody would know. And she would not have added enough value to herself. Because the way Mayowa is talking now is not the way she used to talk when she first came.
No, she was not even able to take whole camera and talk less of talk. She would not even go before the camera.
A whole lot has changed. Now, you see, now that will bring me to the subject of wasting time, spending time, and investing time. Now, because when she was going to work, she was just spending time. And the least or the most she could get was just some salaries, some paper. But when she came to Kyiv and she started investing time, I'm gonna explain what it means to invest time, to spend time, and to waste time. When she came to Kyiv and started investing time, she's a better person. Her life is better. So much value has gone inside of her. She has products to show for her time. So now, what does it mean?
People, they say they want to listen to you the whole day. Your analysis should go on for the whole day. This is the book is analyzing how to become great through time conversion. Yes, please.
So now I'm taking you back again to the fact that time, that treasure called time, has been given to every one of us. And we can all either buy greatness with it or waste it. Now, what do I mean by waste it? So 3 things people do with time. People waste time, some spend time, and others invest time. Now, what does it mean to waste time? When time is wasted, there is no product from that time.
So wait. It means that if I spend half of the day now, and there is no product in that half of the day, it means that time has been wasted.
It's a wasted time. And not just a wasted time, it's a wasted life.
Whoa, yeah. You dey bring pain, no?
No, it's true.
Come on, keep on going.
So now, when you waste time, you do not have a product to show for that time.
Oh.
Now, what does it mean that I don't have a product to show for the time? If I sit down, for example, just maybe I'm playing what? I'm just playing some games.
So all those, tell the people, are all those things in this book?
Yes, they are in the book.
Okay.
And the book is How to Become Great Through Time Conversion.
Yes.
So, in that book, Pastor said that when you waste time, you don't have any product to show. And one thing about time is that time keeps passing by. You can't hold it. Time keeps moving. You can't stop time from moving. Now, we started by 7 o'clock. And let's say now, maybe about 30 minutes or 25 minutes is gone already. Right? Now, we couldn't stop that 25 minutes or 30 minutes from passing by. It just passed by. It's natural for time to keep moving. Time is progressive. Now, but that time that is progressive, every human being is supposed to lay a hold of that time and get a product out of it. But when I fail to get a product out of that time, then that time is wasted. Now, how do we waste time? We waste time by doing things that don't add value to our lives. We waste time by sleeping all the time when we ought to be working. We waste time by watching television soap operas that add no value to us. We waste time by just going to visit people and just talking, just saying things that are of no value. I know of people who could spend, the whole week just going to watch football matches.
No, it's not possible.
Some are just playing Candy Crush, just playing games. And once that time is gone, you have no product, nothing to show for that time. So any time that you could not get a product from is a wasted time. It's a wasted time. And can I tell you the truth? Over 90% of people on the face of the earth are time wasters. Because they don't understand the concept that I'm not supposed to allow any time pass without getting the product from it. So that is how you waste time. So you waste time when you don't get a product from time. When you don't add value to yourself. When you are not doing anything meaningful and tangible. Then that time is a wasted time. I think it is in that book also, there was a quote used in that book by Jim Rohn that said that successful people have libraries. The rest have big screen TVs. Now, successful people, on one hand, they have libraries. The rest have big screen TVs. Now, who are the rest? The rest are the 90% I talked about that don't know how to get products out of time. And then the successful ones are the few great ones that God is talking about today. Why? Because they understand time conversion. They have libraries. They are converting time. So now, second thing, people spend time. Some waste time, some others spend time. Now, what does it mean to spend time? Now, you said in that book that when you spend time, you get very little compensation for that time. So when you waste time, you are not compensated at all. You don't get anything from that time. Then when you spend time, you get a little compensation. And that is where you talked about working for salary. When you are going to work every day, giving your life, and then you are paid something little. And you are just happy that you are being paid something little as salary. And then you said that salary is the compensation that is given to you so that you forget about your purpose. Oh. You forget about what you were born to do in life. And you are just happy that you are getting salary. Now, when you go to work every day to get salary, you are spending time. Because at least you get something, a little compensation. You are better off than the people who are just wasting time, who don't get anything at all from time.
So that's why people go to work, because they are comparing themselves to the majority who would not know if we get anything at all.
Yes, they are feeling that at least they are better than those who, who are not getting anything at all. And then, when you first of all, we say that when you waste time, you don't get any product for it. And then when you spend time, you get a little compensation for it. And that is what happens when you just go to work, or maybe you just go to school just to get a paper, a certificate, one paper called certificate. You spend 6 years or 4 years to get that paper. Not that you are really adding value to yourself. You just want to get the paper. That is a little compensation. So you give out your life, 6 years or 4 years to get paper. Or you go to work for, maybe you work for 40 years of your life or 30 years of your life, just to get some paper called money. And that is spending of time. And then there is a higher level. And that is the level of greatness. That is where the great men are found. That is where the people who understand that it is not God who decides greatness, who chooses who's going to be great. That is the level where they are. And that's the level where time is invested. So the third level, which I am begging everybody to crave to get to, and to do that, you need to get the book. Because that book is going to help you how to become great through time conversion. I think that Pastor Sunday so much loves you to have come up with that book in the first place. It shows that you have concern for the people out there. Because you want them to become great, to become successful in life. And so you have brought that book. And you have said in that book that the third level is the level of time investment. Now, how do I invest time? Now, before I tell you how to invest time, there was a principle that Pastor talked about in chapter 1 of that book. And that principle, which is called the first principle of time. And that principle states that time must be converted into a product. That is the first and general principle of time. That time must be converted into a product. And then is when time is converted into a product that greatness is given birth to. So, how do I invest time? Now, any time that I'm able to get a product from, any time that I'm able to convert into a product, that is, when I obey the first principle of time, then I've invested time. And what is the principle? Time must be converted into a product. So every time I convert time into a product, I have obeyed the first principle. And that is called time investment. Now, what do you mean by converting time into a product? That is the next question. It means that you should never allow 1 minute or 1 hour or 1 second pass by without grabbing something out of time, without using time to add value to yourself, without using time to fulfill your purpose, without using time to become the best version of you, without, converting the time into something tangible and productive. That is what it means to invest time. So, to invest time, you first of all must make sure you are using the time for your purpose. You must first of all understand why you were born. And then you use the time for your purpose. And then we say you are investing time. And anytime you are using time for your purpose, then you are getting products from time. You are being productive. Most times we think that when we go to work, 8 hours or work extra time, for our boss or for the government, we think we are productive. That is not productivity. According to what Pastor said in that book, you are not productive if you are not using time for your purpose. If you are using time for something else that is not your purpose, you are not productive. So how do I invest time? I invest time by making sure that I lay hold of time and not allow time pass by without getting the product. Now, how do I do it? I do it by getting into the library and reading and adding value to myself, especially in the area of my calling. I invest time when I'm able to get a product out of time by getting into, my reading table or getting to my laptop and converting that time into a book. And that is why we have the book that we are looking at today, that we are talking about today, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. It was because time was invested that Pastor got that book. And the same thing could be said of any other book or any other products. So all the products you see today on earth, everything you can see, both the buildings, the cars, the money, the clothes, they are all products of time well invested.
So the person who was saying that it's like you are a replica of DSA. And when I'm even listening to you right now, I'm thinking myself, it's like I'm just silent and I'm looking because it's like maybe it's me myself who is talking. It's like it's me. So for somebody to become a replica of DSA like this, like you now, or a replica of Jesus or God, so it's also time.
It's time.
You have invested time to study, to listen.
Yeah.
To DSA.
It's time. It's time. And I was talking about investing time. Several ways you could invest time. One, Pastor said that you have to read, you have to study. You have to read books. An average African could live his life a whole year without reading a book. Without reading one book. But that same average African could spend, his time, his or her time, playing computer game or Candy Crush, or just going to watch some soap opera, just sitting before the television, and no value is added. So you can invest your time in books, study, you must read. Greatness is a product of time. And how? It is thanks to the amount of time you are able to invest that you become great. Now, if I invest more time than you in a particular field, I will automatically become more successful than you.
Yeah.
So, you invest time in books, you invest time in listening to audio, listening to teachings. And that is why Pastor said in that book that when you are traveling, for example, you could say, I'm traveling to Kyiv from Ternopil. You are going to Kyiv. And let's say the journey is 5 hours. Now, some people in that train to Kyiv will just use that 5 hours, just looking through the window, just looking at the buildings and counting how and saying how beautiful the buildings are, and saying, oh, now we're going to Lviv. Oh, now we're in Vinnytsia, or just looking at an another person in that vehicle and say, oh, your hair, see how beautiful our hair is looking. Now, you spend, not even spend, you waste 5 hours of time from 10 to Kyiv, just admiring buildings and just admiring people there and their dressing. Now, someone else in that same train has a book, and he's reading a book, 5 hours journey. Before he gets to Kyiv, he has read up to maybe 5 chapters of the book. What has that person done? That person has converted time. He's adding value, even though he's just traveling. And the other guy said, oh, we're just traveling. It's just 5 hours. We're going to Kyiv. Now, somebody spends 5 hours to Kyiv and read 5 chapters of a book, added value to himself. Another person got to the same Kyiv with no products to show for it. Now, another person could be in that same train with his laptop, writing a book, and then write up to 5 chapters of a book in 5 hours. And when he's coming back to Tenopi, he writes another 5 chapters. We have a complete book already, just to and fro Kyiv. So, what is the difference between these 3 persons? One of them wasted his time. No products. Just went to Kyiv and came back. Another person, added value to himself by reading. In the same 5 hours time, the same resources given to 3 people. One did not understand that he could convert that 5 hours into a product. The other 2 persons understood time conversion, and, they converted their time. One wrote a book in just 10 hours of travel to and fro. Another one finished the whole book in just 1 hour of travel. Now, there is no way the guy who wasted his time can become great in life. Because if he's able to trivialize time on that journey, it means that every day he trivializes time. If he's able to waste 5 hours or 10 hours to and fro, it means that is his normal life. He wastes time anyhow. And it is impossible for such a man, to get greatness. And that is why, it is to become great and successful is not something out of reach. It's not something that is reserved for some people. You only need to read people and understand that you could become great if you learn how to invest your time.
But
and it is
yes, go ahead.
And it is that time well invested that will give birth to that greatness. You wanted to say something, sir?
Yes, somebody is writing, I'm on fire. Oh. My life will change through time conversion for sure. But what I wanted to say is, why is it that me personally, for example, I live my whole life up to today, I never had anybody speak on this thing until I myself began to discover it through different resources and study and do things. But I never had anybody quite talk like you are talking now. What about in Africa? I was in Africa, I was always thinking that we are victims.
Well, for Africa, I want to say that, generally worldwide, only I don't know, but I haven't really heard anybody talk about time conversion the way you talked about it in that book. People just talk about time management, 5 tips to manage your time and all of that, but they don't understand the concept of time conversion. And then for Africa, it is worse. Why? Because they do not understand the value of time. And that is why people waste time anyhow in Africa. And that is why the concept of African time, became prevalent in Africa. Now people begin to say African time, African time. So you know that if you invite an African for a meeting, you should be ready to wait another 1 hour, after the time that the meeting was scheduled to start. Why? Because the African man has brought up, a word called African time, and everybody they are comfortable with it. Only if they knew that time is life, that word, African time, would die a natural death. That is why I think that this book, every African should read it. Why? Because an understanding that when I waste 1 hour of time, I'm wasting life. You know, you'll be afraid. You feel guilty anytime you waste 1 hour. And you know, you said something in the book that time should not just be considered as years. That we must come down to begin to consider time in seconds, in minutes, and in hours. And that creates a sense of urgency. Because in Africa, you say, okay, I just wasted 15 minutes now, or I just wasted 1 hour now. Why? Because they are thinking that, you know, time is only valuable when it is in years. And so people plan their lives yearly, when they should be planning their life per second, per minute, and per hour. And for Africa, because we waste time, there is no way we can build a nation. Why? Because all the nations that have become great nations of the earth today, they understand time. Why? Because one of the things you could do with time, we said, is to convert it to products. And that's what we call productivity. So a nation that does not understand productivity, or that does not understand time conversion, cannot be a productive nation. And if a nation is not productive, how does that nation expect to become a first world nation? It is impossible. When people are just wasting their time in Africa, and in Nigeria especially, doing things that are not productive. Most people spend all of their time in the churches, you know, just praying and just fasting. You know, people, you see, we don't even have factories where people could go and convert time into products. Now, and if we are not productive, if we don't have, you know, an understanding that we need to convert time to products, it is impossible to build an economy. And that is why you said, you know, there's another book you wrote about how to double Nigeria's GDP. You know,
yeah, yes.
And in that,
it's an article.
Okay, there's an article you wrote about how to double Nigeria's GDP.
Yes.
And you were talking about the concept of time. That if we could just understand time, you know, if we could just understand that for every time that is wasted, some other countries are converting that time into productivity, into labor. And thanks to that, they are able to, you know, increase their GDP. But in Africa, people are not even working. They are just wasting time. And so once you waste time like that, there is no way you can become a developed nation.
It means I must write that book. How a nation could become, or how Nigeria can increase the economy or double economy through
time.
Yeah.
You know, for example, in Ukraine here, when you ask somebody to wait for you somewhere, the person only waits. The person expects you to come exactly the same time, or they give you only maybe 15 minutes.
Maximum 15 minutes.
15 minutes. If you come later than that, you won't see the person. Why? Because they understand time. But in Africa, you could keep somebody waiting for over an hour or 2 hours. You schedule a meeting to start by 6 o'clock, and by 7 o'clock, you are still waiting for people to come. Why? Because we do not understand that we are wasting life once we waste time.
Now, I'm going to ask you for another question. In this book, I use the example of many great men of God many great men in history. Great men that everybody understand, everybody know. Yeah. Do they know that principle? And how did they use time to become who they became? You want to mention the name of great men and prove to me that it is time that made them great.
Okay. Now, first of all, let's talk about, let me start from Thomas Edison. Now, we all know that Thomas Edison was the inventor of the light bulb that we have today.
Yes.
And it was said that he did over, I think it's over 1,000 experiments before he could get that time. Now, but how did that happen? Before he could get the bulb. Now, how did that happen? For a man to lock up himself, you said in that book that Thomas Edison would lock up himself in the laboratory for days and for weeks, just trying to, do different experiments, looking for the right filaments, doing experiments. just so that he could get the electric bulb. And that he became so, conscious of the product he wanted to produce that most times he didn't even eat, he forgot to eat. And that he could, now it is called solitude. Let me use the right word. It is called solitude. And you said it in that book, or you talked about solitude in the book. And that Thomas Edison would go into solitude. Now, for those who are listening to us, Pastor said that the best way to invest time or to combat time is through solitude. And so solitude is a time where you just separate yourself from every other person, from every disturbance, and you just have the material that you need to convert the time into the product you want to produce. And so Thomas Edison did the same thing. He went into solitude in his laboratory. At times he stayed in the laboratory for weeks, for months, just doing experiments, converting his time, looking for a product to get out of time. And he was so used to solitude that when he goes into the laboratory, maybe he's there for 5 days, and they come to pull him out and say, you've not eaten. You've been here for 5 days. And he begins to say, I thought I just entered here yesterday. So he's been in the lab for 5 days, thinking that he's been there for just 1 day. Why? Because he was so engrossed with the product he wanted to produce. He wanted to bring a solution to a problem, and that's the problem of darkness. He needed the light bulb to be invented. And he went into solitude. Every now and again he was in solitude. And that is why he had a lot of, products that he got thanks to time conversion. And you will not have heard of Thomas Edison if he did not understand time conversion. You would not have heard that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb if he did not use time to create the light bulb. Now, not many of us can actually do an experiment 10 times. We would give up. But Thomas Edison did it 1,000 times until he got it. You can imagine the amount of time that he used to be able to get that invention. And then, again, I'm sure you've heard of, there's this painter, this artist.
Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali. You mentioned Salvador Dali. There's another painter, the guy who painted the church in Rome. Michelangelo. Now, you talked about how Michelangelo and this great man, Salvador Dali, how they used to go into solitude. And that, Michelangelo could stay in that basilica while they were trying to do the artwork. He could stay there for months, for years, converting time into products.
That is why it's so great. That is where his greatness is coming from.
That is where the greatness came from. That is why, Michelangelo is one of the greatest artists that has ever lived. Now, you would not have heard of him if you did not understand that time has to be converted. And now he converted his time into painting, into artwork, that people were coming from different countries, different places, to come to Italy just to see his painting, just to see his work.
Up till today. Up till today. But after hundreds of years. After hundreds of years, he had died.
Yeah. Now, how was he able to become so good that people come from other countries to come and see the work he has done? It is solitude, time conversion. It is the amount of time you invest into learning something that determines, how good you become. You actually gain the mastery over your acts, over your skills, thanks to the amount of time you invest. And that is why Michelangelo is a great name in history. That's why Salvador Dali is a great name in history. That is why Beethoven, the great musical composer, is a great name in history. These are people who, from the age of 8, they discovered solitude. They would go in learning the keyboard, learning how to play the keyboard, and he became one of the best musical composers that the world has ever known. Why? He converted his time
from
into that product. So, to sit down and say that, I don't think I can become great, or God has chosen those who will become great, is an act of ignorance. Why? Because Michelangelo became great thanks to time conversion. Thomas Edison became great thanks to time conversion. Salvador Dali became great thanks to time conversion. Ludwig van Beethoven became great thanks to time conversion. Now, there is another thing Pastor talked about in this book that is called the rule of 10,000 hours.
The book we are talking about. Tell them the book we are talking about.
Now, the book is titled How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. How to Become Great Through Time Conversion.
Okay, go ahead. 10,000 rules.
Now, Pastor talked about the rule called the rule of 10,000 hours. I'm sure that only very few persons have heard of that rule called the rule of 10,000 hours. If you understand the rule of 10,000 hours, you will become a workaholic. You will become a master of whatever thing you have chosen to do in life. You will so master your purpose and your calling that you will become the best in the world and nobody can compete with you. Now, what is the rule of 10,000 hours? The rule of 10,000 hours states that in order to become a master, to gain the mastery, to become the best in any field of endeavor, you must invest 10,000 hours of time. You must invest 10,000 hours of time learning that thing, whatever it is. Now, Pastor said in that book that greatness or mastery or becoming the best in any field of endeavor is a product of the rule of 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
So when you are able to convert or invest 10,000 hours of time into anything at all, whatever it is, you will become one of the best in the world. You will become, the people cannot compete with you. Why? Because you have invested more time. So now the question is, how do I invest 10,000 hours? How do I invest 10,000 hours into learning something, into perfecting my skill, into becoming the best of myself? Pastor gave a formula in that book. And in that book, Pastor said, in a day, we have 24 hours. Now, there was a calculation Pastor did there, and when you do the calculation, you find that if you invest 3 hours every day, if you invest 3 hours of time every day, doing something repeatedly, investing time, learning something repeatedly, 3 hours every day, it will take you 8 years, about 8 or 9 years, for you to get 10,000 hours. And at that 8 or 9 years, you would have become a master. You would have become the best, not just in your village or in your state. You would have become one of the best in the world. Why?
Do you remember the person who did the experiment?
Malcolm Gladwell.
Yes. Okay. Malcolm Gladwell did the experiment and the study. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so Malcolm Gladwell did the experiment and Pastor wrote about, Pastor expanded it, in this book that we're looking at, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. So if you are able to, invest 3 hours of time every day, doing something repeatedly, learning something, adding value to yourself in a particular area of life, within 8 to 9 years, you would have become a master in that field. A master worldwide, not a local champion, worldwide. Then, if you invest 5 hours of time every day, in investing 5 hours of time every day, rehearsing something, maybe it's keyboard, or maybe you are a tailor, whatever you are, you are a footballer, whatever you are, if you can put in 5 hours every day, rehearsing that thing consistently, it will take you about 5 years before you become a master. So it means that in 5 years, you could become one of the best in the world. But how many people know that? That you could become a great name in history just within 5 years.
Through that law alone.
Through that law alone, you could become a master. Why? Pastor said in that book that generally in the world, people don't understand time. People don't have that, people are not that committed to be able to stick to the rule of 10,000 hours. And so the few people who are able to stick to the rule of 10,000 hours are the ones that we are hearing about today, are the great names in history. And Pastor gave an example using Michael Phelps and Joseph Schooling. Now, Pastor said that Michael Phelps used to be the best swimmer in the world that everybody knew about. You know, he was the hero of swimming. Everybody was, kind of worshiping him, looking up to him as the best swimmer in the world. And then Joseph Schooling, a little boy.
6-year-old.
A little boy. Now, Joseph Schooling was also admiring, Michael Phelps. And then Michael Phelps, they came to Singapore for some training, preparing for Olympic Games. And it was then, Joseph Schooling saw Michael Phelps, his hero, and he was so excited, and he wanted to even take a photograph with Michael Phelps. Oh, I've seen my hero, And, he went to Michael Phelps and wanted to take a photograph. And then Michael Phelps, of course, obliged, and they took a photograph. And Joseph Schooling was so happy that he took photograph with his hero. And then, after that, Joseph Schooling spent the next 8 years of his life learning swimming. 3 hours every day, he was swimming. 3 hours every day, he was learning swimming. In 8 years,
which equals to 10,000 hours.
Yeah, which equals to 10,000 hours. So if you spend 3 hours every day, we said in 8 years, you got to 10,000 hours. So Joseph Schooling was able to invest 10,000 hours of swimming, 3 hours every day. And after 8 years, by the next Olympic, Joseph Schooling went to Olympic Games. This time around, not to snap photograph with Michael Phelps, or not to shake hands with him. He went to compete with Michael Phelps. Now, he understood that he had become a master in 8 years. And he went to compete with his hero. And you know what?
The world record holder, Michael Phelps.
Yeah. You know what? He defeated his hero, Michael Phelps. In just 8 years. In just 8 years of applying the rule of 10,000 hours. In just 8 years of understanding time conversion. In just 8 years of investing time. He became a master that he was able to defeat his hero. And that is a proof that anybody, no matter where he's from, no matter his skin color, if he understands time conversion, he will buy greatness with it. He will understand that, nobody is specially selected to become great. And so today, Joseph Schooling became a great name because of time conversion. And that is why this book is so important that I don't know how to say it, but I would feel bad if anybody did not come across this book throughout his life. Pastor, you've written so many books, but I think this one, this particular book,
yes.
I think if people understand this book, if they get it and they read it and they understand it, there is nothing they cannot become in life.
Yeah, I agree.
There is nothing they cannot become in life.
But look, it means that in Africa, what would this book do to African countries or Africans? If everybody in Nigeria will read this book.
What it means is that if everybody reads this book and applies what is inside, it means that first of all, champions will be coming out of Africa every day. Great men will be coming out of Africa every day. Because when we come on the world stage to compete with the other countries, most times we are coming to compete with people. For example, now, look at Joseph Schooling as an example. He took 8 years, right? Preparing to become the best. And then somebody from Africa who has not even invested up to 500 hours of time wants to come and compete with somebody who has invested 10 hours. And that is why we don't get any medals. We don't get gold. We go for Olympic. We don't get anything. We go for World Cup. We don't get anything. Why? Because we are coming to compete with nations that have been, converting time. They've used themselves. And then we just wait maybe a month or a week to the Olympic Games, and then we want to prepare to go for an Olympic that somebody has been preparing for 8 years. So one thing happen to Africans, they will begin to read this book. First of all, in sports, we will become the best. Every sport, every game at all we go to play, Africans or Nigerians specifically will become the best if they read this book. Any country at all that decides to make sure that every citizen of that nation reads this book and applies it, that nation will become one of the best nations in the world. And not only in sports, in inventions. One of the reasons why we don't see inventions coming out of Nigeria or from Africa is because we don't have that discipline to spend time in the laboratory trying to do research. You know, I told you of Thomas Edison now, who stayed in the lab for so long, and you know, Michelangelo, just doing solitude. If people will learn solitude from this book and begin to go to the laboratories to do research, investing their time into research, we'll begin to have, you know, inventions, medical breakthroughs from Nigeria. We'll have technological breakthrough from Nigeria.
So, but somebody say, what about sewing? What about if I go to sew it to you? Money.
To sew money to me.
Won't I get what you have?
No. Now, you can't sew money, because if you sew money, I mean, I don't understand. How can you get what I have? You have to go through the process. You have to add the value to yourself. Because if you give me money and I transfer what I have to you, you have not gone through the process. You cannot reproduce what I've given to you. If it were even possible to transfer it. But it's not possible to transfer it. The only way to transfer it is to give you the knowledge, and that is what Pastor is doing right now. You get the knowledge and go and apply the knowledge. And go and, you know, practice what you have been taught. What you have learned from the book. So when if Africa, what is in this book, we will become a first world nation.
Just because of this book.
Just because of this book. Just because of this book. You know, I said earlier how we could increase our productivity, our workforce, if we understand time. So Nigeria could actually, or Africa could become a leading continent in the world if we understand time conversion. If we tell people to go to the libraries, to study, to do research, if we tell people to go to the laboratories, to invest their time to do experiments, instead of just going to spend a whole year every day going to church and just praying to God. And we are praying to God for God to come and develop our nation. But God has given us the resources that is needed to develop nations. And that resources is the resource of time. If we can invest time doing hard work, doing research, doing experiments, perfecting our skills, we will actually become a leading continent and will become the leading nation in the world. So we could turn Africa around just by understanding time conversion, and time investment.
Oh, amazing. But somebody has been saying, but he has been going to church my whole life. Why is it that I don't know this thing?
Well, you know, most people, you know, like I said, I've not heard anybody talk about time like this before. I've gone to church, you know, for the past, since 2004, I've been going to church. I've not heard anybody talk about time conversion. And the same thing with the remaining everybody, especially Africans. You will not hear this in church. Why? Because even your pastor does not understand it. He doesn't understand it. The bishop and the GO don't understand it. Because if they understand it, they will be teaching it in church. And just imagine that everybody has this understanding from this book. That every church in Nigeria, you know, has taught their members what it means to invest time and to convert time. All the inventions will be coming out of the church. The church will be giving birth to inventions every day. We'll be having inventions coming out of the church. We'll be having ideas, brainchild. People will come up with ideas on how Nigeria can be developed. But because our pastors don't know, they can't teach what they don't know. And that's the problem. So going to church will not give you this knowledge that we're talking about now. You just have to get this book, How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. Now, not just you becoming great, even nations can become great thanks to time conversion. So the principle applies to individuals as well as to nations. An entire nation could become great if that nation understands time conversion and inculcates that principle of time conversion into its citizens. That is how a nation can be built. So not just individual, nations. Time conversion affects nations too. And that is what Pastor has written, in that book.
The book is called How to Become Great Through Time Conversion. You can
Through time conversion.
Yes, you can get it on Amazon. You can go and read it for free. You can go and read it for free on Kindle, Amazon Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited on Amazon, you can read it for free. Or you can buy it on Amazon, either a Kindle version or paperback version. But it's cheaper if you want to buy it from my office. And to buy it from the office, just write to dssbooks@gmail.com. 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 And then you could also become a distributor. Why don't you become a distributor of this book for other people to be able to gain from it as well, to be able to enlighten and set other people free? And it's the same way, write to dssbooks@gmail.com. And in 30 minutes time, in 35 minutes time, I'll be coming over again to continue my series on how pastors are, turning you into a psychopath. But Pastor Clement, you have really made me glad today, because looking at you, you are making me to think, thank you, Jesus. Maybe it will be possible for me at the end of the day to multiply myself and create 1,000 people like this, or 10,000, or 100,000 DSS, or to replicate myself in 100,000, 1 million people. My goal is to replicate myself in 1 million people like this. Because the way you have done it is giving me hope. That, because some people are even writing, it's like this man has swallowed Pastor Sunday. You don't swallow DSA. That's because of time conversion.
Yeah. You
spend time on my material.
Yes, sir. And thank you for giving me the privilege, to learn under you. Because if you had not brought out these materials, where else could we have found them? Nowhere.
But people who used to know you in Nigeria before, they'll be saying it's no more you.
They won't recognize you again. With your materials, I have evolved, and I'm still evolving until I become the best of myself. And that is the goal, to become the best version of myself. And it is possible through time conversion.
And
in that book, you talked about the importance of solitude, and you said that everybody can become the best of themselves if they understand solitude, and that we are not who we should be. So if you are listening to me, you are not. This is not you. The you that you see now is a product of accidents, or where you were born, or where you were given birth to, of the trainings you had or you didn't have, of the weaknesses of the people that raised you up. But Pastor said in this book, you can take that your accidental self and make it become your best self. You can become the best of you through solitude. And Pastor said, you could just take, for example, maybe you have a problem with anger or with fear. You could just say, this week, I want to do away with that fear or that anger. And then you go into solitude for 1 week, just to deal with fear or anger. And you go and get all the materials on anger and on fear. And you consume all those materials. And then you make sure that by the time you are coming out of that solitude, anger has disappeared, fear has disappeared. And that can be applied to anything at all. Maybe you don't know how to manage money, you waste money anyhow. You could say, this week, I want to put an end to wastage of money. I want to learn how to invest money. And then you pick the book, Money Won't Make You Rich. Or you pick the book, Stop Working for Uncle Sam. Or you pick the other book, How to Build Your Financial Future. And solitude for 1 week. As you are coming out a different person. And you are coming out to apply everything you have learned through solitude. And once you come out, people will not recognize you again. Because you would have changed. So you can actually recreate yourself. That's the word Pastor used. You can recreate yourself through solitude, through time conversion. You can recreate yourself. You can become what you want to become. Anything at all you want to become. Any shortcoming you want to remove from your life, you can remove it. Any virtue you want to add to yourself, you can add it through solitude. You can look at great men. What were the virtues, what are the principles they applied? Or what virtue do I want to get? Pick 2 or 3 great men, read their biography, study the principles they applied and made them great. Lock up yourself for 1 week or for 2 weeks, just trying to, invest into yourself all the values, all the virtues, and all the principles that these great men use. And then you come out and you apply the principles and you have replicated yourself. You have become, the best version of you.
Let me give you a testimony here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so there is another book that I wrote, which you edited for me. I think you are the one who edited it for me. Why you must urgently become a workaholic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, these my books now. My focus now is not on America or Europe or the West or even Ukraine. My focus now, all these years, is now Nigeria. So even though I wrote that book, I wrote it for Africans, but one American, white American, Caucasian, by mistake, he had somebody talk about the topic that why you must urgently become a workaholic. He said workaholic. He said he was so shocked that in America, workaholic is like negative word.
Yeah. And
because it's like alcoholic. So workaholic also is negative. How can somebody be so bold and call his name workaholic? his book that you must even urgent self. It has to be urgently become a workaholic. So this American guy, he wrote here and said I should get him the book. So while we were still trying to get him the book, he said, I cannot wait again. Though. He went and bought it again. He said, you're going to have 2 books. He went and bought it on Amazon. He just downloaded it on Kindle. Let me quickly read. He said, when I started reading this book, he said, I couldn't drop it until I finished. So that was last month before the new year. Today, he's writing to me. He said, you will be happy to know that I am very excited. It is Monday. He said, as I write to you now, it is 6 o'clock in the morning, Chicago. He's living in Chicago. And I'm itching to go into the office. But unfortunately, my office work starts at 8 o'clock. They will not open. They don't open until 8 o'clock. They will not let me in. Yeah. He said the reason is for all this is because of your book.
Wow.
Why you must urgently become a workaholic. He said since I read that book last month, I think I am beginning to be addicted to work now.
Wow.
Because now that I know that actually work is only supposed to be for my calling and purpose, not for work. He said, I am making so much progress now because now I know the purpose of work.
Wow.
Because here in the US, there is a phrase that is called, thank God it is Friday. This phrase is used blasphemously, meaning, thank God this is the last day of the work week before I go and relax and play all weekend. But me, right now, from that mindset, this book has converted me that now I'm loving work so much that I found myself since yesterday, which was Sunday, itching, and I'm saying Sunday must pass quick. So that Monday should come as fast as possible. And I woke up so early, I want to go to work, but I can't get to the office. He said, because I'm now an addicted man. Now I am now saying, thank God it is Monday, instead of thank God it is Friday. Yeah, because now, according to your book, why you must urgently become a workaholic, I now know that Monday is another day for me to go and have dominion and be productive through the instrument of work.
Wow.
See what is happening?
Yes, sir.
We are changing the world, though.
We have to, sir.
But even this book, I didn't write it for white Americans. I don't even want white men to be reading my book, sir. Not that I'm not a racist. I want everybody to read, but white Europeans, they already have something at least. So they are not my priority. Me, I want my priority to be people of the underdeveloped world who are still growing. Even here in Ukraine, I'm no more wasting my time because they have what Africans don't have. But the Africans, you think anybody has read the book? I'm not sure.
It's terrible.
But me, I'll keep on doing my own. I'll keep on writing.
Yeah.
So everybody, go get this book either through Amazon or Okada Books, or go and find Chioma in Nigeria, or write to my office, dssbooks@gmail.com. Thank you so very much, Pastor Clement. It is 20 minutes or 25 minutes now to my next program. We'll see you later tonight. God bless.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah.